Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is LJ and in today's video I'm going to be doing a 3 days 3 ways review on the L'Oreal Infallible Total Cover Foundation. If you are new to my channel, a 3 days 3 ways is where I review a foundation over the course of 3 days using 3 different techniques and applications for 3 different results, so that we can come up with the best combination of products and techniques and applications for this foundation. So this is the Total Colour Infallible Foundation by L'Oreal. I picked mine up in Boots for £12.99, that's in euros. You get 35 grams, which is 1.2 fluid ounces of product, which is pretty good. The foundation, it comes obviously in a squeezy tube like this, and you squeeze out the product onto your applicator or onto the back of your hand. And the texture is really nice. It's almost like a mousse, but it feels slightly cooling as it's going on the skin, and it feels super light. I must say that it does feel very, very light when you apply it onto the skin. I have picked the shade number 10 Porcelain. I feel like it is slightly bit too light for me. It claims to give you full coverage, long wear, weightless feel foundation, matte finish, and it covers all imperfections, redness, blemishes, all that kind of stuff. It advises you after one application if you need to add more to put it onto those areas. So it is quite a buildable foundation that will give you that full coverage. I have a combination type skin, so I get a very oily T-zone and then I would be more dry on the exterior of my face. If you're interested in seeing tutorials for the eye makeup looks throughout the video, I'll leave that linked down below also. Okay, let's get straight into it and let's get on to day one. Welcome to day one of reviewing the L'Oreal Infallible Total Cover Foundation. So day one, I always try to use as many of the brand's products as possible, so I'm going to be using as much L'Oreal products as possible. So I went and I got the Infallible Mattifying base, and I also got the Infallible fixing spray to use for day one. So I'm going to go ahead now and start applying the primer. So I'm just going to pop that onto my hands and rub all over my face. So I just have my basic skincare on this morning, and I have a video on that, so I'll link that down below. So if you want to see how I do my skincare in the morning, then go watch that video. I pretty much do the same thing every single morning. Okay, so primer is on. I'm just patting it to make sure that it's seeping into all of the pores to smoothen them all out. It's a mattifying primer, but it feels super silky and it didn't really go dry in the face, which I like. So I'm just going to let that sink in for a few minutes. Today I am going to use the foundation and apply it with a dense brush. So you can see this is just like an angled dense brush. I'm going to use different techniques and applications for each day. So day one I'm going to use a brush. Okay, so I'm going to get the foundation now, and oh, I need to open it. So this, as you can see, is my very first time ever using this foundation. I'm in the shade 10 Porcelain. Just going to put it on the back of my hand. So it looks quite kind of moussey. I'm going to do a little swatch for you guys. So that is the consistency there. And I feel like it's quite thick, but also moussey kind of feeling. Okay, so the instructions say to apply in the T-zone first, and I'm just dabbing it on with the brush into the T-zone and then blend it out. It feels kind of cold, which is nice. It doesn't feel heavy. It's looking quite nice on the skin so far, so good. I'm finding it very easy to build up the coverage, which is amazing, and it is a full coverage foundation. Okay, I think I have all the foundation blended out nicely. It was getting a bit cakey here because I didn't blend it properly first, but then when I rubbed over it again, it blended out totally fine. It's looking quite good. I am looking matte. I'm looking a little bit dry, but that is a little bit expected right now. I'm completely evened out in skin tone. I used a fair bit of my back of my hand what was there, but as you can see I still have a little bit left over. I feel like it is a foundation that you can sheer out if you need to, so it is a little bit more versatile. So far so good. I'm going to pop on the rest of my face and I'll be right back. I have the rest of my face on now and everything went on beautifully. So I have powdered my entire face. I've used all powder products today. I haven't used any setting spray. We're just going to see how the foundation performs with just a setting powder on top. Tomorrow I will be using a setting spray and all cream products. So day 2 is for like minimalist cream product. I did find that I had a little bit of dry skin, which I wasn't aware of, that the foundation highlighted. So you can see it's on my skin a little bit dry. So I do recommend to exfoliate before you apply this foundation because it will show up any flakiness or dry skin that's on your skin that you're not aware of. So definitely exfoliate. I'm going to do that tonight after I take it off, just to make sure that I have a perfect canvas for tomorrow. Okay, I'm going to go about the rest of my day and I will check in right before I'm going to take it off tonight. And I am back. I've been wearing the L'Oreal Infallible Total Cover Foundation now for about 11 hours and I'm impressed. I'm very impressed. So this is an absolute first impression of wearing this foundation. I haven't worn it ever before. I said initially that it looked a little bit dry, but after a few hours that just totally melted into your skin, into my skin. It was really nice. Only about 4 hours ago I started noticing a minuscule creasing around my mouth. Those little lines here, like very little. Now looking up close with the lights on and everything, I am noticing like small little bit of cakiness. So I did powder my face, I didn't set it, so the powdering of the foundation when it's matte already may have like built up a little bit on my skin, but guys, like it is nothing to cry over. Like it's actually looking so good. I'm very impressed. Under the lights now and everything I am looking a little bit shiny, so I'm going to grab my trusty Inglot blotting sheets. I know this is going to be quite oily. Okay, it's not too bad. We're not completely sticking. Okay, there we are. So I do get an oily T-zone. I have a combination skin type. And I'm just going to blot it and powder over it and see how that performs. Because this is supposed to be a matte full coverage foundation with 24-hour hold, I think it said. So we pretty much have like a full sheet there of blotting and you can see a little bit of transfer coming through. Looking pretty matte now, which is great. Going to try a little bit of powder. So the powder I use, I actually don't have L'Oreal. I have this Givenchy one. And I'm going to use a tiny bit and let's see if it cakes or anything after powdering. Okay, let's inspect. Wow, that is looking really good. So I am getting a little bit cakey around my mouth. I'm going to zoom you in so you can see. I have a little bit of lipstick transfer, please ignore. I don't know if you can see. As you can see, it's not too bad. Like it's really hard to show it on camera, but just a little bit caking. It's definitely not the worst foundation that I've ever tried, and considering it's drugstore, I'm very impressed. So day 1 was an absolute success. I am thrilled to bits with this foundation. Let's see how we get on with day number 2. Day 2 is where I am minimalist, so I'm going to use my hands to apply. I'm going to use all cream products, no primer, but I'm going to use a setting spray, no powder. So let's see how we get on with that. Hello and welcome to day 2 of testing out the Infallible Total Cover Foundation. So today is minimalist day, so I'm going to use as little product as possible. I am going to apply the foundation straight onto my skin without a primer. Today I'm going to do one side fully with my hands. I'm not going to use a brush. I'm going to do one side fully and we can have a look at the difference between the two sides. I found yesterday with the brush it went on really nicely. I'm usually not a huge fan of using my fingers because, I don't know, they just get really dirty. I have a wipe here next to me ready, but that's just such a waste of a wipe to have to wipe off the foundation off your fingers. Okay, I have half of it on my face there now, so you can see how much more pink I am in comparison to the shade it's giving me. So it is the shade Porcelain 10. I don't know if I should be doing a different shade, but I'm going to roll with this. Once it's bronzed up and everything like it was yesterday, it's totally fine. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of my face. Tomorrow I will probably use a beauty sponge to apply, so if you prefer to see application with a beauty sponge, then skip to day 3. Today I'm going to be using all cream products on my face, no powders on my skin complexion. Obviously I'll have a little bit of powder for my eyeshadow, but on my face I will just have a setting spray to set everything in place. I'm finding today's application a little bit of a struggle. So where the line I had, I was like going back over it and it like lifted up a little bit of the foundation that was already there, and now it's starting to look a little bit cakey. I'm just trying to pat it out with my fingers and it's just like seeping into my pores. I don't know if you can see, but my pores are not looking very pretty right now. I definitely preferred yesterday's application with the brush, much easier, and I don't have to do this afterwards. But I know a lot of people out there like to use their fingers to apply foundations, and a lot of foundations do work very well with finger application, but I feel like this one definitely doesn't, so I don't really recommend it. And if you are using your fingers and you've never tried a brush or a sponge, then give it a go and see how you get on. Yeah, I'm really not looking great at all. It's not great looking. From a distance I feel like it will look okay, but I'm after finding another cakey bit, and well, we're going to roll with it. I did my best with my hands. I'm going to apply some concealer, cream contour, cream blush, cream highlighter, do my eyes, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, I have the rest of my face on now, as you can clearly see. Everything went on okay. Not very happy with the actual foundation itself, but we're going to roll with it for today. I have one last step, and that's to use the setting spray. So this one is the Infallible setting spray, fixing mist I mean. So I have to give it a good shake. I'm going to spray that all over. That fixing spray smells so nice. I'd spray that all day. It's like a perfume, but it's not. It's like super light. It's lovely. I was kind of hoping that maybe the fixing spray might like help. Let's see. No. I'm gonna zoom you in on my forehead just so you can see. I hope you can be able to see it. So can you see the foundation in my pores? I think that's where like the primer comes into place as well. My nose isn't doing too good. Around my mouth, not doing too good. But yeah, that's how we're looking. I'm gonna leave it on for today. If I have any emergencies, I'll be sure to check in on my phone. Hopefully I won't have any issues. I'll just roll with the makeup. Maybe it might take a few hours to settle into my skin. I definitely feel like not using a primer and a hand application are the biggest downfalls for today. But let's stay positive. Let's see how we get on. I'm gonna check back in again later on today. I'm back. I've had the foundation on for about 13 hours now, and I feel like it's completely melted on my face. So for the first few hours I couldn't help but notice how everything just sunk into my pores. You could see the little circle of my pores. But me being a combination skin type, I am always going to have an oily T-zone. I feel like this method would be good for people with more dry skin, as long as you don't have any dry patches. So if you're prone to like drying out throughout the day or going dry, then this might be a good option, because it does start off quite matte, and if you don't powder it, it does get a little bit more hydrated looking quicker throughout the day. So I'm going to start by blotting around. Okay, you can see it's sticking quite straight away. I am more dry on the outside of my face. Okay, it's not so bad around here, but my cheeks, they don't really get oily. I found as well that my contour and blush didn't really last as long, that it just kind of all like melted in together a little bit. Now it is a tiny bit there, but I did get a comment saying that I looked a bit pale, which is a little bit pale for me, but I just needed a little bit extra more contour and all that kind of stuff. So you can see here that it's completely sticking to my T-zone. My nose, however, I did like how it looked. Because you couldn't really see as much texture that I usually have on my nose because it was so melted, but it looked super shiny. So for me, this is not as good as day one. The powder and the primer definitely helped yesterday, I feel. I feel the primer made it look smoother on the base, and then the powder just set it in place and kept it there for longer. And I'm complete oil slick today, but I do feel that this would be good for people who tend to tighten up and dry up throughout the day. And you can always blot throughout the day as well. Like, I didn't for the purpose of reviewing, but my face looked okay. It just looked very, very shiny. And I'm looking forward to day 3 to see how we get on. I never ever do any touch-ups throughout the day for the reviews, just so we can see how it looks after blotting and touching up. So looking at my skin right now, it's actually not looking too bad. It's looking pretty clear, I would say. It's looking quite hydrated and a little bit shiny. I'm looking forward to day 3. Day 3 I'm going to be combining everything together that I feel is going to work the best for the foundation. So I will be using a primer and I will be using a setting spray and powder together. Powder first and setting spray, obviously, and we'll see how we get on with that. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. Welcome to day 3 of testing out the Infallible Total Cover Foundation. So today, day 3 is all about like evaluating the last 2 days and seeing what will work best with the foundation, in my opinion. So I'm going to start off with a primer. So I do feel like the primer did make an awful difference on day 1 in comparison to day 2. But I'm using a different primer. So this is the L'Oreal Mercier Radiance primer. I love this. I think it's such a nice primer for everyone. Even if you have oily skin, it just gives you that nice glow because it is a matte foundation. So it might just help it look a little bit less matte. But judging by the past 2 days, that it goes quite shiny looking after a good few hours anyway. But this will take away that initial like dry, flaky looking if you do have any dry patches. Alright, so I have my foundation. I'm going to pop it onto the back of my hand. Today I'm going to apply it using a beauty sponge. This seems to be applying really nicely in comparison to day 2's application. That is applying really nicely. I'm really happy with that application. I think this is the easiest application so far. Okay, I feel like this is the most even looking application so far. It is looking a little bit more sheer, but not very sheer. It's still quite full coverage. And yeah, I'm really happy with the beauty sponge application. I am finding a little bit of patchiness going on here. Maybe I didn't blend it out enough. I feel like this foundation is prone to patchiness, so if you don't apply it and blend it out quick enough, it might look a bit blotchy. And I feel the best way to blend it out quick is using the beauty sponge for sure. Okay, now that I have the foundation itself applied today, I'm going to go away and do the rest of my face, just the contouring, blush, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to do powder in my T-zone and I'm going to do setting spray on top to lock it all in. I'm going to use the same brand's first setting spray that I used. The Infallible Fixing Mist. So I'm going to use that again today. So I'll check right in once all the rest of my face is done. Okay, I have the rest of my face on now. So I did like T-zone powdering as well as all powder contour, powder highlight, powder blush. I just find that the powders stick better with the foundation. The cream on day 2, it just seems like it just all melted together eventually. So I'm just shaking up my mist. I'm really loving how this foundation looks today. It doesn't look as dry as it did day 1. And I look matte but glowy because the highlighter is popping. Okay guys, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to come back later once I have my makeup worn for the day. I have had the foundation on for about 12 hours now and I am so impressed. This foundation has worked amazingly today. So day 3 combination is definitely the winner. I have my trusty little blotting sheet here and like I feel like I don't even need to touch up my makeup. It's looking really good. I'm so impressed that there's no like wear on the tip of my nose, where I usually would get a little bit of wear and it would show up my little bit of texture that I have, but it hasn't, so I'm super impressed with that. A few little bit of oil coming through on my T-zone, but not that much. It feels really comfortable still, like I feel like I could continue to wear it. Now I am getting a little bit of cakiness around my mouth, but nothing really severe. Like I don't even feel like the need to give you guys a close-up on my skin, only to show how nice it is. Like that sounds weird, but usually I do close-up to show you how crap it is, but this is actually so nice. I'm really happy. I had no lines. I have no... Do I have lines around my mouth? I have no lines on my forehead, I have no lines around my mouth, just like a little bit of texture, a little bit of cakiness around my mouth, but that's pretty much it. Everything else looks the exact same as I did earlier, so I'm super impressed by this foundation. I'm gonna add just a little bit of powder now just to see. I didn't do any touch-ups throughout the day today because I didn't need to either. Wow. That looks really nice now. It looks completely fresh. Lovely. Super happy with that. Day 3 is definitely the winning combination for me. I feel like I would definitely go and purchase this foundation again, or recommend it to combination skin type, as long as you do all of the steps: primer, powder, setting spray, everything, just to make the foundation work its best. Okay, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed my 3 days, 3 ways on the Infallible Total Cover Foundation by L'Oreal. Have you tried out this foundation? How did it go for you? I know there's some little bit of issues with the patchiness, but I do feel like that this is quite a good foundation. Day 3 was definitely the best day out of all for sure, but I'm also curious to know how everyone else is finding it. So if you've purchased it and you like it or you dislike it, then leave a comment down below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see more 3 days, 3 ways, don't forget to hit the subscribe button to make sure I pop up in your feed. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.